You are listening to episode 137 of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. And on this episode, there will be a brief reference of Juan Soto, friend of the channel, and predominantly wrestling related items because there is a lot to touch on. And Carlos was right. Really fast. Like, fast. Like, fast. It appears that Triple H was listening to me, whereas Tony Khan was clearly not. I'll elaborate more on that on this episode of the Unnecessary Nonsense podcast. Tony, listen to me!
I'm more like, why have you forsaken us?
Hey, look, forsaken is forsaken away, but just understand, it is to your detriment. It is to your detriment. It's like, just saying. So it's myself and David.
As per usual.
Yes.
So how are you, Carlos?
I'm going well. I'm basking in the glory of rightness.
Are you also basking in the heat?
Also that, yes. There's a lot of baking. And I'll be honest, today I've been dead tired. So dead tired, I've barely eaten today. So I am going to do this with less energy than I normally have. And yet, look at how pumped up I am to tell you how right I am.
There's something about being right and gloating in it that just gives you an energy boost, eh?
This is literally what's driving me right now. That, and not sponsored, but should be. That's what's happening right now. I'm doing this right now with residual energy and adrenaline simply from basking in the glory of my correctness.
Oh, hey, when you can do that.
Yes. So, quickly, if you've got any story from this week, share it, and then I will get to the Juan Soto thing, and then we'll get straight into basking in my correctness and also elaborating on what's going on right now.
All right. So I have something. I have two things. Okay? So first of all, I watched with my wife the Woodstock 99 documentary that is on Netflix, which is an okay documentary. It's another one of those, they could have literally just made this into like an hour and a half, but, you know, let's stretch it to 3 episodes because reasons. But also, it has done probably more than anything to say, I never, ever want to go to a festival like that. Like an outdoor music festival, never. I never want to go to one. I've been to like some low-key ones before, but I never want to go to one in my life, ever, again.
Fair enough.
It's just and the people who ran the festival who are in the documentary are completely delusional.
So is this the 99 Woodstock? The original Woodstock? Okay,
this is
so
the 99 Woodstock.
Okay, so this was the later iteration. Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
The one which ended in looting and violence and burning everything up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Fair enough.
So there's
Second
that. Second thing. And I want, this isn't an official Pretenders Cross Country Riding report, but I have a question for you.
Go.
All right. So, but you have to, before I get into this, you have to at least give the premise that maybe hypothetically you could like the sport.
Dave, I am literally operating on adrenaline and starvation.
Okay, we can save it till next week if you want.
Yeah. I'm happy to answer it, but I need quicker. I want to get to the part where I have the energy.
So basically, this is the thing. If you want to watch the sport in this country, you have to have like 6 different streaming services now.
Probably, yeah.
If you want to watch. So what's a fan to do? Because no other sport is really like that.
Pick a better sport. Look, I'm actually being semi-serious because there is a limit to fandom where it's like, if you make it too difficult for me, then I'm out. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And this is from the premise, even taking your original idea here. It's the same thing happened with baseball. I have the streaming package for MLB. Yes, I watch it. Yes, I use it. However, if MLB suddenly decided, oh, well, we got to fractionalize it regionally, well, then screw you, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing it. It's just...
Would you do a regional, like pick a region and then just stick with it?
Probably not.
Or would you say I'm out completely?
I want the options to watch all the different ones, because right now with Sportsnet, I get the Blue Jays anywhere. So it's like, then there'll be some national games they'll throw in there as well. But they're like, okay, fine. If you want to do it like that, then I'll just save the money entirely. The idea here is if you want the extra revenue, great, but don't make it so difficult and fractionalize it in so many ways. Soccer is the kind of sport where, look, man, if you're into it, well, then prepare to shell out cash, because you do need all those streaming services to watch that if that's what you want to do. To me, it's not that interesting. I'm not going to be doing it. Even for sports where I am interested, if you provided that same scenario, I'd be out. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which sport we're talking about.
Well, because look at, I just want to put this real quick. So if you're thinking, okay, I want to watch MLS. Okay, you can watch that on TV, like on Sportsnet or TSN, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one.
Mm-hmm.
Sportsnet has the Bundesliga, so okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you get two, which is German soccer. If
Sure.
you want to watch English soccer, that's its own thing. If you want to watch Champions League or UEFA, that's DAZN,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you want to watch Canadian soccer, there's another. So that's 5 streaming services right there.
Yeah. Yeah. At that
It's
point,
ridiculous.
you have been told like either shell out money or pick the ones you actually give a crap about and just roll with it.
Yep. And I don't know, personally, I feel that in the long run, that's going to hurt the business model.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the reason why I said like I'm just taking it from the perspective as the consumer. If you try to push me, if you literally try to nickel and dime me to that point, at a certain point, I will reject your offering entirely. That my response to you eventually is like, okay, let me just take my money elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it easy.
Agreed.
Yeah. So like a lack of patience in that. Okay. So real quick, obviously the big MLB news was that Juan Soto is now a San Diego Padre.
Along with what's it, Josh Bell?
Josh Bell, yes. And as you can imagine, look, I've taken this in stride. I am not reacting to it anyway. I have no reactions. I definitely didn't buy one of these. Definitely not. I don't care what rumors are out there. Those of you listening to audio,
you didn't get a Padres one, like the actual, like the Spanish on it. Well, I guess San Diego's Spanish too.
look at the jersey, Dave.
It is a nice jersey.
I like I like the chocolate colored jersey with the
I
thing.
have the when I was there, I bought a hoodie that has like the old Friar logo swinging the bat.
Yeah.
With that shade of brown, which
Yeah.
I quite like.
Yeah, you have the multiple options, but realistically,
Even though I hate San Diego, but
yeah, realistically, the chocolate colored jersey, I like the look of this jersey.
it's beautiful.
This is a good looking jersey, and I was able to get 30% off.
Nice.
Bonus.
Even better.
So allegedly, I may have purchased a jersey. Just saying.
So a couple things on this point.
Yes.
Quickly. Two questions for you.
Yes.
One, I think it's too early to tell but first one is, does this do anything to the value of Juan Soto cards?
Marginally. It's one of those things where the potential, it actually, his cards had already started going up in price in anticipation of him getting traded. So
Okay.
that had already happened. So that's already baked in. Now, with the type of lineup they have, with the protection in the lineup, the potential, a strong finish to the season, and a playoff run could do big things. We speculated on that a little bit on Friday night on the live stream, and I had a Nationals fan actually come in who also collects some Juan Soto cards. So we actually discussed this for a little bit. And our agreement is that the potential is certainly there. Who knows? Like, obviously, the Padres are making themselves a formidable team. They've got a lot of young, quality players. Josh Bell is a great addition because I think Eric Hosmer was their first baseman prior.
Yes.
Josh Bell's an upgrade. So
for sure.
Yeah, so you've upgraded that. And that's kind of the almost forgotten piece of this deal. Josh Bell is actually playing extremely well. So you've upgraded at first base. You've got Juan Soto. Fernando Tatis Jr. is coming back. So you're adding that to the lineup. Manny Machado is playing well. You're adding that to the lineup. It is, and I think they got Josh Hader as well. Like, San Diego's making moves. They're trying to load up that franchise to bear. And right
And
now,
I believe since the trade deadline, they have a losing record.
I mean, 2 games? Anyway.
I don't know. We'll see. The thing is, I feel it's one of those things, kind of like Seattle, that this is San Diego, and somehow it's just not going to work.
Well, basically,
I mean, look at all the moves they made. Was it? What year was it? Was it 2020 or was it 2019 when they were just wheeling and dealing again? I mean, their GM has been quite good at wheeling and dealing at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And what do they have to show for it?
Dave,
Nothing.
most franchises in baseball have nothing to show for it.
Well, that's true.
The Dodgers have literally should have won like 6 World Series by now.
Also true.
And they have won. And I think they were lucky. Maybe that was a fluke. Maybe that was an accident. Can we double check and make sure they actually won it? Maybe they didn't. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe they have 0.
It's okay. The ghost of Vince Scully, may rest in peace. We'll
great.
win them another one this year.
Yeah, there's a better chance of them getting bounced in the first round than them winning the World Series. It's one of those things where it's like there's some of these franchises that have a lot of money or make a lot of moves. Here's the thing about the Soto trade. There's a real possibility this could be a 2-year rental for them. There's a real possibility where if they're not happy, if this season, we should not be expecting them to win the World Series this season or even have a deep run necessarily. Is the possibility there? Sure. If things fall exactly right, again, the Nationals were not supposed to win in 2019. Stuff happens.
True.
Stuff happens.
Yep.
So if lightning hits again, then you got Juan Soto, 23 years old with 2 World Series rings and a batting title and multiple All-Star appearances.
And Carlos just putting a bunch of cars on the market.
Then it's just me figuring out whether it's a mega yacht, a super mega yacht. Should I get the deluxe package on the mega yacht for the lounge? These are the decisions that I have to make, Dave. These are the important decisions. So Is the possibility there? Yes. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work in the next 2 years, if they don't sign him to a long-term deal, they would still have a year left. So they would actually be able to trade him for a package of prospects back. So they could trade a lot of stuff, get for him, and then still have an asset that potentially in a year and a half, 2 years, they could trade for a bunch of prospects and everything if Soto just plays well in that lineup.
Yeah.
So Soto could end up with a third team in a little while, and it would still be fine. I got that jersey because I like the look of the jersey to go with it, and I thought, that's kind of neat. That's fun. And maybe I'll grab a Washington Nationals one if it's on discount. Which would be kind of fun.
Which it probably will. I mean, it will be somewhere.
Exactly. If it's on clearance, I'm in. But the thing is that, I don't really care. I'm a fan of the player. So for me, it's just following along with the player. I'll still get some San Diego Padres Soto cards. It'll be kind of fun. I did get the Tops Now with him with the little traded thing on there, which I thought was kind of neat. I was able to also get a coupon on that. So right now, if I'm getting coupons, Dave, if I'm getting discounts, I'll take my discounts. Sales. Let's go.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we'll see. But is the potential there for it to have an impact? Of course. Winning and success and, being a centerpiece in a good run could move very well for him, because it's like he just went from a team that is literal garbage right now to a team that at least is in playoff contention.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens going forward.
I think they have. I think they're in a wild card berth.
I think they're in the second wild card spot. My understanding.
Yeah, I believe so.
So either way, they're currently in contention. So let's just say contention to keep it simple. That at least gives hope. So there is a possibility of this going, and if it goes well, that lineup is potent. On paper, that lineup looks real good.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll have to see. Okay, let's talk some wrestling. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, so in the segment known as Carlos was right, Triple H decided to hit the accelerator and a half. Bischoff and I might be wrong technically, but also right. Just the timeline might be wrong, because it looks like Triple H is going the full court press. So Summerslam.
Now, does that by doing that? Sorry, I know I'm probably going to interrupt a lot on this, but does that even make you think the possibility is even greater that Vince really is not involved at all anymore?
At the moment, yes. But my key element was that he is nuclear. He is toxic. He is, he's got radiation coming off of him. Technically, he needs to focus on his own business, because apparently he's being sued as well by the XFL guy.
Yes, that is right. I thought that got settled.
Whatever. The point is, Vince has other business to attend to right now. He needs to be focusing on his own problems. So right now he's got a lot of things to deal with. The point is, that could be keeping him distracted from dealing with a lot of the day-to-day WWE. And right now he's still got voting shares. He can still get court some influence. I feel like Triple H right now is sensing a window, an opportunity to be able to act unilaterally and creative. So, and based on that, it appears that if that's the sense he has, he's hit the accelerator. He's like, okay, I'm going to fix a bunch of the stuff that I wasn't happy with that you guys were doing. We're going to fix this right now. And part of that is, right, SummerSlam is a perfect example. I didn't watch SummerSlam. I really don't care what happened in SummerSlam. It's not interesting to me in the slightest. However, I did pay attention to the results coming out of it.
Yeah, here we are talking about it.
No, but the thing is, I don't have to watch 1 second of it to be able to read on the screen the results. To be able to see the images on social media. It's really easy for me to quickly scan and see exactly what happened. I just need to understand. So, they did the thing, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Becky Lynch actually apparently separated her shoulder in the match, whatever. They had another match. Bianca Belair won. Good for her. Doesn't change the fact she lost in 20 seconds in the first match.
No, it doesn't.
Stupid. Nothing will ever change that. However, here's where the stupidity kicks in. And it's supposed to be a big moment. Remember, it's a big moment. And it is, technically, but again, it's stupid. So I'm going to explain why WWE did something that is impactful, a moment, but also rendered it stupid immediately inside of the same activity. So what they did is they had Bayley come back. Bayley's been gone for over a year.
Right, fine. That was going to happen anyway at some point.
But it's also appropriate. Immediately put her into a potential title picture thing with Bianca Belair. Great. Bianca Belair needs a fresh matchup right now. So great. That sounds great.
Plus, Becky Lynch is injured and going to be out for several months
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah, and they didn't know the nature of it, but having Bayley come in actually gave them another option immediately. It gave them another option. Okay, cool. Second thing. Okay, so you've got that. Then you've got, suddenly, the music plays, and Dakota Kai is returned. Oh my God, Dakota Kai. Which plays into, by the way, Triple H now going and reclaiming some people that were cut. So she came back, which was a bit of a surprise, but again, okay, great. Reaction, right? And then Io Shirai, although she's not allowed to be called Io Shirai anymore. They didn't have their little naming, their little trademarks lined up. So I Io something, like whatever. The point is it's Io Shirai, okay? Io Shirai comes in, and it looked like she was on the way out. Oh, another big like retain / signing / whatever. And now you've got Bayley, who is a multi-time women's champion, actually held the title for over a year prior to her injury, held the title in addition to the women's tag team title with Sasha Banks. Accolades, she's had all the titles at least once, so she's actually got a really good resume. She'll be a WWE Hall of Famer, all cool.
And she's a solid wrestler.
A solid wrestler, a student of the game, a solid wrestler. She is a good person to have back in the lineup. Great.
100%.
Yeah, so good stuff. Io Shirai is a decorated wrestler in her own right, a longtime NXT Women's Champion, had a great run with that title, a solid wrestler, and can wrestle almost anybody in that division. So another solid add to the roster. Dakota Kai is as solid as they come. 2-time Women's Tag Team Champion in NXT, even though NXT, her tag team runs were not treated that well. But still, she has held belts in this company. She has been a wrestler who's been around. She's been around the NXT system for a long time. She's solid. So I've got 2 multi-time champions. I've got another multi-time champion who is a little bit lower in the pecking order, but still really solid. So this should be a formidable new stable of women. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So they go in and they face her. And then Becky Lynch comes in, even though her shoulders separated. And then the 2 of them stare down the 3, and I'm like, no, get in there and kick their ass. There's 3 of you, and there's 2 of them. Bayley literally should be able to stand toe-to-toe with Bianca Belair by herself. The other 2 should be able to kick the crap out of a broken Becky Lynch. What are we doing here? What are you, stupid? There's 3 of you and 2 of them. Kick their ass. Break their face. Literally, you just showed up. Don't stare at them. Break their face. Like, I don't. This was supposed to be this big No. Don't stare at each other. Fight them. Hit them in the face with a chair. Break Bianca Belair's hair. Cut her hair off. Do whatever. Do something. And then that was the thing. And then on the next show, then they beat up Becky Lynch in the back, and then they did the thing again where they went to go like attack. Bianca Belair showed up, and there were 2 people and 3 of them, and again they walked away. There's 3 of you. One of you is literally a multi-time champion. The other one is a champion, and the third one has also been a champion. You should be able to kick their asses. There's 3 of you. 2 of them. 3 of you. 2 of them. 3 of you. I don't know why this math is difficult. I don't understand. This is WWE still being idiots. Like, you brought them back, great. You've got more options, great. But you still can't do math. Like, this is stupid. This is why I still think, like, this show sucks. Like, why are you wasting my time? Even just looking at the visual, I'm like, literally Bayley should be able to stand toe-to-toe with Bianca Belair by herself. Why are you running away from Bianca Belair? There's 3 of you.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Like, you're already setting this up in a weird way. And it's like, what am I supposed to be threatened by these? You're too scared to fight 2 of them? With 3 of you? Never mind. Whatever. All right. Screw it. Anyway, so that's the first one. Second one. You got, what's it called? Karrion Kross and Scarlett are back. Mm-hmm. So, NXT champion, had a dominant run on NXT, immediately went to the main roster and looked like the guy from, what's it called? Mad Max. The guy with the mask, or you're like a bondage guy. Like, it was this stupid thing. Like, he looked like an idiot, and they treated him like an idiot. And now he's back. Now I'm supposed to be intimidated by him. The good news is he has hair now. By the way, he could have grown hair. He literally chose to do the bald head thing to give the look, but now he's got hair again, so good for him. He beat up Drew McIntyre, multi-time champion, great. Looks very intimidating, and now it looks like he will be, feuding a little bit with Drew McIntyre / potentially challenging Roman Reigns. Sounds great. The rumor mill is that he may potentially be, trying to take one of the 2 titles. This is a way of kind of getting one of the titles away from Roman Reigns. Great. Cool. So 5 seconds ago, he's bondage guy who can't beat anybody. He literally lost to Jeff Hardy in his debut on the main roster. Literally lost to Jeff Hardy. And now he's a killer.
Because that is the definition of let's give this guy a push.
But now he's going to be... He may very well be a champion. Soon. Great. And by the way, they got Scarlett back, which is great, and a presentation. And they trust Triple H a lot more, so I have no doubt that's the reason they signed. And they probably were told, hey, we'll fix your creative. We'll do it right this time. We'll give you the whole presentation. She came in with the little hourglass, which was part of the presentation in NXT. So I would wager to you, it will be 1,000 times better than the first time. But the problem is, I didn't forget about the first time. You're still Karrion Kross. You're the same dude who came in with the stupid mask thing and the bondage crap, looking like a reject from Demolition, and here you are. You're the same dude. I'm sorry. I've seen you. You already screwed it up the first time. And then Roman Reigns is supposed to be intimidated by this dude? Really? The Roman Reigns who's right now held his titles for like 5,457 years? Something, whatever?
Okay. Eventually, Gunther's will destroy Roman Reigns.
Not if the ratings going. But the thing is that, like, okay, great. Let's say you do it. Good. You fixed the thing you did wrong in the first time. I didn't forget what you did the first time.
Yeah, but do you feel that you're kind of like in the minority and that I don't care?
I'm 100% in the minority.
So
the ratings went up. And I said they would. By the way, I said they would.
Well, yeah, but I also feel some of that is, curiosity, right? It's like, okay, Triple H is in charge. They did some stuff with SummerSlam that maybe wasn't originally planned. They changed some things around. Okay, what's going to happen? Let's tune in and see. Let's give it a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
No guarantee that they're going to hold that number.
They're not going to hold all of it, but they'll raise the baseline. The point is they'll retain a couple 100,000 people from where. So basically, they'll be up from where they were before. It could be 10, 15%, maybe 20%. But that's still an improvement. Like instead of a downward slide, which they've been doing forever, so it's an upward slide. Yeah. And the WWE shills will be like, well, AEW is still doing like under $1 million or about $1 million or whatever. And it's like, and by the way, they'll be right. I'll get to AEW in a minute. I will get to AEW in a minute. The point is, WWE basically finally solidified itself. It solidified its creative. And part of the reason for what I said earlier is that the stuff I talk about Karrion Kross, they don't remember the stuff about Karrion Kross. The average fan doesn't care. The average fan forgot that he was even there. So for them, he might as well be a new guy. Like he may as well be, because they're like, oh wait, I don't remember that lady with him. Who's that? Well, she was part of his presentation in NXT. Oh, I don't watch NXT. Exactly. So you may as well call it new presentation, even though you're going to call him the same thing. It will improve, and he is more than capable with the right booking of being quite good. Mm-hmm. And he can definitely look the part of a guy who can compete with Roman Reigns and potentially beat him. And they've never faced each other, so you don't have that baggage going for you. Your baggage is if you remember what he was doing in the main roster the first time in that brief run. Most people won't. I will, and I'll be here to remind you. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. He may as well be a different dude. Makes no difference. So he will get treated better, most likely, which will raise morale in the locker room, which means the status quo in WWE we retained, but with better creative. It's still the same shit company, run by the same shit people. But now it's nicer. It's a friendlier version of the same shit. So fine. Great. So they're going to do that. Now, the other rumor mill is that more than likely, they may have, if not already, then they're on verge of re-signing Naomi and Sasha Banks. Well, then waltz back in, and once again, you rebolster that roster. With the same people you had before, by the way. You already had them. And then you lost them, and now they're back. So that women's division is going to get a little bit bunched up, and I don't know if they have enough for everybody to do.
But you feel so. Here's a question. Here's something I was thinking of today when I was thinking about this, right? And okay, so let's say they do all that, and maybe they get some more released people that haven't signed elsewhere.
I would expect a few more, yeah.
Right? Or I mean, I know there's been rumors going around that Braun Strowman might come back, or
possibly
whatever. Okay, do they? I mean, I know in the logical thing, people won't see this because wrestling fans generally aren't logical, especially on the internet. But are they not just doing a whole bunch of the stuff that they're criticizing AEW for?
Yes. Hypocrisy is a hell of a drug, Dave.
Right?
Hypocrisy is a hell of a drug.
It's like, okay, and now you've got a bloated roster and
yes.
and you're re-signing all those people just
yes. Correct, yeah.
It's like, literally 5 minutes ago, you were complaining because AEW is doing the same thing. Just putting that out there.
Look, and WWE has the same problem with creative with some things that makes no sense. The Edge thing where he had Judgment Day for like a cup of coffee, and then Finn Balor is now head of Judgment Day for reasons that are yet to be understood. And then their feud with these guys and that guy. And then I saw some video of like Rhea Ripley attacking Dominic Mysterio and doing this whole thing. And I'm like, why are you fighting Dominic Mysterio? Go win a women's championship. You were literally a former champion. Go win the damn... If you're supposed to be so scary and intimidating, why don't you go win a title? Win a title. Go fight Bianca Belair. Go fight the other one. I don't even remember who's the other champion. Liv Morgan. Go kill Liv Morgan. I don't... Why are you wasting your time fighting Dominic Mysterio? No one gives a fuck about Dominic Mysterio. No one.
That is... Most people will probably agree with you on.
And I'm sitting there like, why are you wasting your time? Go... You're supposed to be scary now. Ooh, you're extra spooky goth muscle lady. Go fight Liv Morgan. It's so stupid, Dave. It's just so stupid. It's all so stupid. And by the way, Triple H has improved it, which means it's gone from being absolute rat shit, garbage, bottom rung stupidity to being, curdled milk stupid. It's still bad. It reeks.
But
It reeks the high
Carlos,
heaven.
do you understand that WWE is the be all and the end all of everything when it comes to sports entertainment? Oh wait, they're allowed to say wrestling again, apparently.
It's like I said, it's these little cosmetic things. Again, to be clear, the show will be better.
Well, it already has
But
been.
it has to be better because it was already shit. So that's not saying much.
Wait, right? There's basically nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, like you couldn't possibly make it worse. So it's like you technically had to make it better or maintain the status quo. Those were your actual two options. So it's like you made it better. Congratulations. All the things I just said still are a problem. But now we're going to gloss over it. It's like, well, Triple H is righting the wrongs. I'm sure he is. That's phenomenal. These things still don't make any sense. They're still a waste of time. They're still stupid. They're a waste of my time. All of it. But whatever. Keep doing you. Keep doing your thing. All right. Now I'm going to make fun of AEW.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So the last show, coming in, they did the on Dynamite. They
And I've watched it. I've caught up.
yeah. So they went and did the thing where Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter in matching gear, gear. They went and operated as an efficient tag team to defeat Thunderstorm to set up Jamie.
Which is a decent match.
It was a decent match. I have no complaints about the match. No complaints about the match.
And I do like Thunderstorm as a team.
And fair enough. I have no issue with Jamie Hayter winning this and getting some shine. And by the way, the commentators were putting her over. Real. They were like emphasizing how excellent she was performing and the muscle and the strength moves and all that. Awesome.
She's improved a lot too since she first came to AEW, right? Like
yes,
she's
but a lot of that.
a little bit.
Here's the thing. I watched some of her stuff pre AEW, and she could do that before. The problem is she was more of like enhancement and doing some stuff. So she was basically asked to dumb the moveset down. So now she's getting to incorporate more of it because it's like, well, she wrestles more of a strong style, and I don't think a lot of the other women are comfortable taking those bumps. Because like even her move where she'll pick them up and then drop them on her knee, you got to hit it right.
Yep.
And her moves is more strong power based. So a lot of it is
let's see her versus Nyla Rose.
That's the thing. Something like that would make sense. That would be the kind of match that would be a little bit more logical. They would be able to do that. I have no issue with her getting a little push here, leading into a match with Thunder Rosa. The problem is, it was to lead into that special Battle of the Belts, which right now is about 30 minutes in. But they recorded it last night, so the spoilers are out, so I already know exactly what happened. Nothing happened.
I was going to say, let me guess, no title changes.
No, none. So Thunder Rosa beat her, and then this was a waste of our time. Jamie Hayter is actually really good. And on the other side of this coin, and I'm going to get back to this in a second, but I want to stick to Jamie Hayter for one moment. So you do this to build her up as a challenger for Thunder Rosa, fine. And then they have a match, and probably the match is fine. I'm going to check it out after the fact. But again, knowing that nothing changed, like it takes a lot of the steam out of it. Literally no titles changed hand. They had 3 matches and all the champions retained. So I'm like, so then why would you want to watch it? Unless you just really want to see the match.
And quite frankly, like looking into it, like I haven't said to PVR.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, okay.
The Battle of the Belts?
Yeah.
What channel is it playing on?
It's not playing live. It's playing at like 1 o'clock in the morning on TSN.
Okay, so here's the thing. It is on the bonus streaming. If you use the online, you can see it live on bonus streaming. So yeah, it wasn't on the regular TSN. Fair enough. Okay, go on.
But I like looking at the card. I go into it. I'm like, there's no way that anything's gonna happen. Right? I know who's gonna win each of these matches. It's very clear. Like you're not gonna change Claudio. He just won.
Nope.
Okay. I really don't think you're giving up. As much as I like Jay Lethal, I don't have anything against Jay Lethal. But you've just built Wardlow into this monster.
Yeah, right now Wardlow needs to run with that title.
He hasn't had a run yet. He needs one.
And I'm sure the match is fine because Jay Lethal is really good. Jay Lethal is excellent. So I'm sure he made it a fun show, and then the right guy won. So that's not an issue.
And then I mean, I guess theoretically the most potential, like, there could be a change, would be the Thunder Rosa Jamie Hayter, but I still don't see it.
I know.
You haven't built Jamie Hayter, in my opinion, enough to have that happen yet.
Agreed. But that's why my criticism is that I would not have put Jamie Hayter in that position. And now let me shift over to where I would have preferred to have her. Because I watched the episode of Rampage earlier today to get caught up. And I knew that Madison Rayne was making an appearance. I knew that she was coming in. But I didn't realize she was wrestling. So she actually had a match on Rampage. The match was okay. Madison Rayne is decent in the ring. I don't think this was her best work, but she also hasn't worked with a lot of the AEW folks at all. Like in Impact, she's a lot more comfortable. She's a little bit more fluid because she knows the people she's wrestling very well. So they've got their timing down. I felt that there were moments, sequences that were good, but then there were other ones where she was like waiting for the other person to get to a certain spot so that she could execute the move. So they weren't in sync. Again, the match was okay, but not great.
Yeah.
She looks good. She's in great shape. She it's not a bad thing. Again, it adds depth to the roster. It adds somebody who's been a champion at another company multiple times and been around and wrestled. She even did a little cup of coffee in WWE for a little bit as kind of a tryout thing. So she has experience, tons of experience in the business. So it's not a bad thing to have somebody with experience. And apparently she's also doing some training in the back. So she's got multiple jobs here. But here's the thing. So you bring her in, you have her wrestle, okay, and then you're alluding to her being a challenger for Jade Cargill. And I'm like, I'm confused. Wasn't Athena a challenger for Jade Cargill? Where's Chris Statlander? Both of those would make infinitely more sense as a challenger for Jade Cargill than Madison Rayne, who just showed up. In addition, Jamie Hayter is one of the people that I would seriously consider putting up across from Jade Cargill.
Sure.
If you're going to have Jade Cargill lose and you don't want it to be Athena or Chris Statlander, both excellent choices. Both would be excellent choices. My third choice would be Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter and Jade Cargill match would be intriguing. Yeah. You could have had the wins leading into momentum of her competing for that title against Jade Cargill.
Could we also not forget that they've actually been working on storylines with Chris Statlander and Athena?
I'm aware that's the reason why I'm favoring them first. I'm saying I'm putting Jamie Hayter third because she didn't have a direct connection. But the other two, at least, it would have made sense.
But yeah, why do we need to bring in somebody new to this mix right now?
Yeah, there's no. By the way, I don't have an issue with her being there. She can have stuff to do. I can find stuff for her to do, and she's more than capable of handling it. But I was like, you literally brought her in, and now she. And by the way, Jade's gonna win, just to be clear, which is fine. But then I'm like, so how do we reincorporate Athena and Chris Statlander back into this? And again, if you're gonna build up Jamie Hayter, I actually want her to win a damn title at the end of this run. If you're gonna build her up, I actually want her to win a title. Well, you're not gonna have her win the women's championship, fine. How about the TBS championship? Mm-hmm. She can be the one to put the loss on Jade. And by the way, the fans are starting to get behind Jamie Hayter. You're starting to hear the reactions go up, especially when she was in that match with Britt Baker. By the way, Britt Baker still gets a strong reaction. She's still a star, and she's still treated well like one, and the fans give her a lot of credit. But Jamie Hayter is starting to build some momentum herself. When she was in the match and she was delivering some power moves, the audience was reacting. So I'm like, okay, so I got somebody with some momentum here. You don't even have to do the breakup with Britt Baker right away. You could do the thing, because Britt Baker normally would be focusing on the women's championship anyway.
Yeah.
So Jamie Hayter winning the TBS championship would not threaten that immediately. It would be a very logical way for her to get in there, and maybe Britt Baker tries to win the women's championship, falls short, and then she gets a little bit jealous because Jamie Hayter's getting attention. Here's a reason for them to have a feud. And Jamie Hayter wins a title. And you can build it up so that it's a clash of the titans, Jade Cargill versus Jamie Hayter. The crowd would be into it, and you could bill it and sell it, and this would sell. This could be a match on the right Dynamite or even the right Rampage if you want to do that. This could be your main event.
Yeah.
We could totally do that. 100%. Here you go. Here's a main event. Book it, Tony.
But he won't.
No. And I'm sitting there like, this is my problem. I'm staring at it right in the face. It's like, it's so obvious to me. That's what annoys me. It's so easy. I'm like, you have the roster. The depth is there now. Madison Rayne is not a bad thing. But it's the Karrion Kross WWE thing all over again. We just brought him in so we could shoehorn him in. Fine. Okay, great. But why? Otherwise, why? I don't get it. What purpose
Tony
is
Khan likes new toys.
I guess so, but
well, he must. I mean, the rate they bring people in.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like you're missing out on opportunity. To me, Jamie Hayter right now is a great opportunity. Again, I'm thinking TBS championship because that right now makes sense for where she is.
Yeah.
Down the road, we can revisit and maybe look at the other title. But we've got people in the main women's championship title picture. I should be seeing. I want to see dissension with Toni Storm. We actually got an opportunity where we may get that because in that tag team match, Toni Storm's hip attack took out Thunder Rosa.
Yes, it did.
So we do have that possibility that that little door has cracked open just a little bit. So we could still end up in a good place here.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think Jamie Hayter was the one I wanted to sacrifice in this match. There was really no reason for her to be in this match and take a loss for no reason.
Fair enough.
I want her to face somebody where she can get the win. I want her to look good in the win. I want her to keep building momentum. I want her to chase after the TBS championship because that would make a lot of sense. If you're not going to do Athena or Chris Stanlander, but again, Chris Stanlander would make a lot of sense. Athena would make a lot of sense. Right now, we've got a potentially interesting TBS women's division here. Like you've got enough legitimate contenders that could be competing with each other for this title.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see that being good, and you've still got plenty of women that can hang out in the women's main women's title division because Britt Baker's still there. She can be doing some stuff. You can have a couple of these other ones be contenders for it. Nothing wrong with that. Do it.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting Hikaru Shida. That's not even counting Serena Deeb. That's not even counting some of these other ones who are available. They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's why I say, like, opportunities are being missed here. And in the rest of the program, again, the Ring of Honor stuff is kind of feels shoehorned in. I like that Claudio has the title. I think that's great. They got to figure out what to do with this Ring of Honor thing, though. If they're going to give him their own show, I don't know if Tony can find the time. Like, I don't know where we're going to fit it. But if you can, that'd be great.
Well, it'd be nice if like I don't mind having the odd, person come in from another promotion. They've done it with New Japan. They've done
and it's worked well. They've been able to use it well in the past.
Yeah, and I have no issue with that. But like, it's almost like Ring of Honor and AEW are like a thing, except for the odd pay-per-view where hey, there's a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, right? Like they should. In my opinion, anyway, they should be their own entity, not like a sort of a third branch of AEW, if you will.
Yeah. Now, I will give some credit here. I have heard that Tony Khan has actually finally built, I don't know how he phrased it. I'm just going to say creative committee. Apparently, Sanjay Dutt and a couple of other guys have been named now to this team that is going to be being a part of developing creative.
I hope they have at least one woman on it.
Something, yes. I would like to see that just for variety. The point is, at least it exists now. It's not just Tony Khan with the side of Tony Khan. So it's like, good. Let's get some of these other folks in here. Sanjay Dutt, I know, has been around the block a while. He's got some experience, so that's great. And
I like him too.
And you've got coaches and stuff who can give input. They don't have to be in charge of creative, but they can give you some input. You've got guys who know. You
have lots of it. It's not like you're bereft of experience. There's a lot of experienced people that have been around the block a few times, like
yes,
William Regal,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But then you got Dean Malenko, you got Billy Gunn. Like these people have been through the ringer several times and know what's up. Yep. Even people like Jim Ross, right?
Mm-hmm. Who has done that job? He's been in charge of talent relations. He's been in charge of He's been worked in the creative team. He has all the experience. He's forgotten more about doing these jobs than a lot of people know. So it's one of those things where, like, look, man, leverage the resources you have because you've got more than enough of a brain trust. There is no excuse for some of these mistakes. There's no excuse for some of these missed opportunities because right now they're still being missed left, right, and center. But it concerns me. It concerns me that I'm seeing things like a Battle of the Belts. They do this little special. On paper, the potential is there, but it's a whiff. It's basically a house show where they decide to throw it into a Saturday, a pre-tape thing. And I'm like, guys, if you're going to do that, then at least build out. You got Battle of the Belts, but the World Championship's never at stake. You got Battle of the Belts. Like, they shoehorn a couple of things in. I know they have only an hour, but I'm like, well, then what's the point of doing it?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do a Battle of the Belts, then do a Battle of the Belts, a la the old, it was the WCW pay-per-view. The name escapes me. But they used to do one that was Night of Champions. It was Night of Champions.
Yeah, Night of Champions. That's
or
right.
Clash of Champions. It was one of Champions.
I think it was Clash of Champions.
Yeah. The idea of that was almost every title was up for grabs. Now, AEW's got a lot of damn titles, so you don't have to do that. But you could still put a lot of titles. You could have the tag team title up for grabs. You could have one Ring of Honor thing up for grabs. That's fine. But then otherwise, I want to see the heavyweight championship being contested. I want to see the women's championship being contested. And if you can fit it in, the TBS women's championship or the TNT, pick one or the other.
But
But put it
also
on the
with
show.
the side of Hoss Fight Championship.
Absolutely. And when they get to the trios, I think that's great. I think that'll be good. And at least it gives some of these teams, the House of Black will finally have something to do. Great. Awesome. But like I said, it's taken so long to get to this stage. And even on Dynamite, you could get a sense of it. Like they had the promo for Miro, and it'll be fine. It'll be him and Malachi Black. It'll be fun. But I'm just sitting there. Literally, Miro did the thing a couple weeks ago when he came in and he like faced off against Malachi Black, but they just stared at each other. And I'm like, again with the staring. Why are we just standing across from each other? You walked all the way down.
You're building anticipation, Carlos. You're building anticipation.
No, you're building stupidity. You're building. We're gonna stand here and stare at each other. That'll show them. I'm gonna keep staring at you until we get to commercial. Let me tell you, I'm looking right at you, man. Yeah, great, awesome. By the way, House of Black, there were 3 of them. They didn't just get out of the ring and jump here. I'm like, does nobody know how to do math?
Also, where's Julia Hart?
I don't know. I don't know. She's trying to find relevance for the TBS championship. That's what she's trying to find. She's out there. She's seeking it out like the Holy Grail. She's seeking it out like the Holy Grail. I don't know, man. But like this is what concerns me. And by the way, in that same vein, on the poster for Battle of the Belts, you see Jade Cargill, you see Dax, you see Eddie Kingston, you see Darby Allin. I'm just looking at it right now. You see the Young Bucks. You see Thunder Rosa. You see Dax and Harwood. You see John Moxley. Most of these people were not on the show. I'm like, it's a great looking poster. I'm sure because I think it was a house show where they recorded the 1 hour for this specific event for the made for TV. So I'm sure they were on the card. But I'm like, so basically we've got all these other people with titles who are on the card but are not being shown in the Battle of the Belts. I'm like, bruh. Dude, I don't even know, man. I'm so tired, Dave.
Does, Carlos. I don't think anybody really does.
But Testament, Dave, with my starvation. See, do you see how much energy I was able to come with my righteous indignation, with my furious anger?
I do.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, that said, I'm still looking forward to checking out the show in Toronto. Hopefully coming up.
Not hopefully, Carlos. It's happening. We're going.
Yeah.
We're
gonna try. We're gonna try. Well, here's the question: do you want to go to both, or do you want to go to the Buffalo one?
I think I want to go to both.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we'll give it a shot and see what we can do. Yeah, I think that's still the plan, so we should be able to manage that.
When is Buffalo? Buffalo's in September, though, right?
Yeah, beginning of September.
Yeah, I could take another look at it too and see maybe, but
Yes.
But I'm thinking more to go to both in Toronto.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, you have to think about it because it's midweek. Obviously, it's a Wednesday. It's actually they're doing they do the Dynamite and the Rampage. In fairness, so they do both shows. But yeah, we'll have to see. But anyway, so that's interesting, and it is the immediate show after All Out. So it is the first.
I thought All Out was like Labor Day weekend.
All Out is September 4th.
Oh, you're talking about the Buffalo one.
Yeah, the Buffalo one is on the 7th.
Yeah.
It's the immediate show after All Out. Which, by the way, is potentially interesting because, again, if Tony Khan, signed 15 more people, they're going to debut on the show after All Out, of course. Obviously.
What? Also, speaking of that, do you make anything, or do you think anything's really going to come of the fact, or any fallout of the fact that NXT is doing a pay-per-view the same night as All Out?
Possibly. If Triple H is being this aggressive, it wouldn't shock me if they did some interesting things with NXT. It's like I said earlier. Now, we're going to see.
You think it'll get more eyeballs on it than All Out?
No, not more than All Out. I'm sure it'll improve the number though. They'll be more competitive just because if by that point Triple H is replenish the cupboard a little bit NXT, because NXT literally has turned into a developmental territory. They turned NXT 2.0 literally into a developmental territory. With a bunch of super green wrestlers that are like not very good. So it's one of those things where it's not like the old NXT. But if he suddenly starts reverting it back a little bit of the old NXT, it would not shock me.
Including Carlos, a former student.
Yeah. It would not.
I'm serious.
Okay.
Someone at NXT went to high school in Milton at the school I taught at.
I am moved by words. Anyway, so the thing is that it wouldn't shock me. So imagine, here's a simple scenario. since Triple H is starting to reclaim some of the folks that were dumped or removed previously, what if they bring back Johnny Gargano?
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see that. Triple H has good relationships with a lot of these folks, and if they trust his judgment and are willing to, and Johnny Gargano liked NXT, so it's one of those things where maybe he prefers just being on NXT. So it's a situation where maybe it could be like, look, I'll pitch it to you as like you can be part trainer and then participate in the brand and help build the brand, continue to build the brand and the product, and get it back kind of to where it was a little bit, because now all of a sudden they've reopened the door to indie talents again. So Triple H has basically gone backwards in terms of his style, which, by the way, made the show better because bringing in indie talents means you've got some folks with some experience. They're not starting
Yeah.
from scratch. So the end result is it'll be a better product. So will that draw some additional eyeballs? Possibly. AEW will have a better show on that night. But to the point, Tony Khan, and I made that prediction last week, and I said it, and it's playing out even faster than I had anticipated. If you bring back Sasha Banks and Naomi, which they very well could, it means the tap for ex-WWE folks is running dry very quickly, because Triple H has more than capable of convincing some of those folks to come back if he has a use for them, or if he simply wants to keep them away from AEW. And if they have a good relationship with Triple H in the first place, then there's a better likelihood they can make that deal.
Do you think Bray Wyatt goes back?
Chances are better than they've ever been. I really don't see where Bray Wyatt would fit into AEW anyway. I really wouldn't want him there. If he wants to do the supernatural spooky crap, like, keep it in WWE.
Well, we also kind of got House of Black doing that anyway, right?
Yeah, the thing is though, they haven't claimed demonic possession of themselves, so it's like,
Not yet.
yeah. But the thing is, like, yeah, like it would be redundant. And by the way, I didn't think it was that interesting. I thought the Fiend thing, like, it was cute for like 5 minutes. I'm bored of it. I'm bored of it now, and it's been a while since they've done it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see it again. I'm bored of that shit. Not interested. So if it means he goes to WWE instead of AW, it's like, no, please go to WWE. You do your bullshit over there. I don't need that crap. But there's a better likelihood, yeah. If he was going to sign it, if Triple H is willing to give him the latitude to do the Fiend thing that he wants to do, then it makes more sense for him to go there. There's a lot of other talents that, yeah, I think a lot of the release folks will either go back to WWE, or they may consider Impact, because Impact lets them to have a certain amount of creative freedom. There's some folks that are going to stay in Impact because that's what they prefer to do at this point. It's easier for them. AEW is going to struggle as far as signing some of these folks, because right now, even if they treat the average talent better, WWE is improving certain aspects of that. The disgruntled WWE person was a great resource for Tony Khan for a while, and that's drying up. But the other problem is that, like, you go to AEW, okay, you get a push of about 20 minutes, and then what? Because then he's on to the next signing, and on to the next signing, and on to the next signing. So it's like, well, finish what you started with somebody first, and then we can go, and then we can talk. You're going to have a better track record if you actually go. Toni Storm, to me, should already be champion. Like, right now. Or on her way to a title match. Which, again, she may still end up getting there. We may still get there. But the point is, the build was all wonky. We shouldn't have had this weird foray randomly in the middle of it. If you wanted to do that, you could have spaced this out differently. Like, it's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Jamie Hayters and the Chris Stanlers and the Athenas are all kind of being used in an awkward way. Like, there are pieces on the board that are being moved, but it's like you're intentionally moving them on the other side of the board when what you should be doing is over on this side of the board.
Yeah.
So they are moving, and they may get back here eventually, but this is an awkward, roundabout way to get to the destination. So it's like, I don't even know if he really has a plan at this stage for some of them.
Oh, hopefully this booking committee that they now have will help.
Yeah, I gotta see some more folks. I want to see some more voices in the room, and they can at least keep track of some of these talents and be able to say, hey, we're missing out some opportunities here. And even the stuff like we talked about before, even the stuff where I like it. Good old Smarmy Christian. Right now doing the thing with Jungle Boy. Great. I still don't understand where Luchasaurus stands, and none of the, like, I'm still confused about the Luchasaurus thing. I don't get it. Like, what are we doing? And he's still Black Luchasaurus, so I'm hoping it turns to Jungle Boy. But even if he does, this whole sequence makes no sense. So you're gonna trick him. We're gonna pretend like 5 seconds after you aligned with me, you're gonna go back with Jungle Boy, even though you attacked Jungle Boy. Right. And then you'll betray him again.
Maybe.
Meaning Jungle Boy's a cretin. Okay. Great. So
like,
that
who knows, right? Because it's like I don't know. You're right. I think the weirdest thing is the fact that he's still in the evil Luchasaurus garb.
It's like you're giving me mixed messages, Luchasaurus.
Hmm.
It's like I'm confused. So are you back with him or are you not back with him? It's like, oh, but it was foreshadowing. It's like you foreshadowed it already, and you're trying like, ha! I went sneaky. I went 4D chess on y'all.
Or it's like, are you really trying to say, hey, he's gonna betray him and not make it subtle at all?
It's so weird, man. It's so weird. I don't even understand. Fine, whatever. Great, fantastic. Yeah. So it's like, okay, if you say so, man. I guess. Cool story, bro. I don't know. I got nothing. Yeah. So basically, like, look, I'm watching the show. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm not spending too much time obsessing over the pieces that are dumb. And it'll still have good matches on the show, but it's like,
Like
yeah.
Jericho Appreciation Society.
The thing is, the individual guys, I like what they're doing. I think the Anna Jay thing is still weird, but at least it has more potential than what she was
Oh,
doing
come on,
before.
Anna JAS.
I'm sure somebody came up with that and thought it was very clever. I was like, please, please, if you insist on talking, can we run? I don't want to script you, but we need to have a talk about these words that come out of your mouth and the order in which they come out of your mouth. Because I was like, what the hell are you saying? I, I don't understand. None of it makes
I'll
sense.
choke you out. I'll choke you out. I'll choke you out.
Well,
I'll
actually,
choke you out.
that part I liked. that part I actually kind of liked. I thought that was fun. And then she literally attacked the guy. That was at least Dave. That was funny. I did
That's,
enjoy
you know,
that.
think I didn't appreciate it. I don't think it was that great, but I respect the fact that you do and totally can see why you like that.
That was the only part that was good. I was like, good. I like it. Fantastic. It very much feels like 90s Chris Jericho. Like he would just say outlandish random things and then like attack random people, and it was kind of funny. I appreciated that one. All right, Anna Jay, I like what you did there. But the thing is, if you're gonna do it, commit to the bit. I wanted her to attack random people backstage for the next couple of weeks. I think that'd be funny. That would at least give her some personality. It would at least put something in there. Like, okay, so she's crazy. Awesome. That makes more sense. At least it's something.
It's true.
Yeah, like, look, man, the point is I'm trying to find something here. Work with me. Like, I don't have Pirate Julia Hart to go back off of. At least that was fun in its own way. If she just randomly snaps on people and, like, puts them in the Queen Slayer, awesome. Great. I like it. Just attack some randos in the back. Works for me. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know, man. So yeah, WWE stuff, it's bullshit. I don't even know. AEW stuff right now, some of it is, yeah, it's bullshit. I got nothing. Some of it's fine. But right now, some of it is like,
So
okay.
what would you say is the best thing AEW is doing right now, Carlos?
Oh, the best thing they're doing?
Yeah.
Let me see. I do, even though with the Luchasaurus incoherence with his current stand, I love Smarmy Christian. Smarmy Christian is fun for me.
Smarty Christian is awesome.
Yeah, but I enjoy him. I enjoy John Moxley just beating up people. That's fun. That's been fun. I've been enjoying that. So to be honest, Ian is quote unquote interim champion. I've been enjoying his little thing because all he does is just give some great promos, have some hard hitting matches, and retain that. Like he's actually performing very solid.
Well, I
Even though
think he's going to retain until he faces Punk again, right?
I think that's going to be the idea, yeah. And in the meantime, though, there's been some fun matches as a result of that little thing that's going on with it. So I've been enjoying that. That's been fun. I think the other one that I'm just trying to think. The problem is there's been so much inconsistent. There are little things that I'll like it for 1 week, and then they will drop it the next week, and then forget about it until the week after. So the problem is it's not there aren't too many things that stay consistently week to week. It'll be like they do a thing, and then they drop it a week later, and then they bring it back the week after that. The other one, okay, so I finally thought of maybe what the other one is right now. I like the idea of Powerhouse Hobbs now going off on his own. I saw his new theme song and entrance. I like it. I like it. The presentation, I like it. And I like the fact that now Ricky Starks has a reason to be really pissed at him. And they're going to have their little feud. I actually think that'll be a lot of fun. I think the potential is really good.
And hopefully we'll see them break out a little bit more, right?
Yes. Well, I'm already feeling that Powerhouse Hobbs is actually doing that. I saw his new entrance and his new presentation and his new music. It borrowed a lot of elements from the previous, but they made some tweaks to it. And now he's got new gear as well. It actually is a much nicer. I could see Powerhouse Hobbs being that powerhouse guy that they bring out there to do some of these matches because he is a strong dude. And it feels like he's showing more personality, like the disdain he's showing for his opponents and like the smirk he's got
Now
when he
let's
kicks the
get him
crap out
in
of him.
versus Keith Lee versus Wardlow. Let's just get some hoss fights going.
But the thing is, you could, because right now this Powerhouse Hobbs is much better than the earlier iterations of Powerhouse Hobbs. And Team Taz has technically been dissolved. And Hook is off with the FTW championship. He'll be doing his own thing. That's fine. And then Ricky Starks now's got this. And then once he gets past this, hopefully, then Ricky Starks can do something interesting. I'd like to see Ricky Starks compete, potentially, for getting contention for a TNT championship. I'd like to see him compete for some of these things and some of these titles. At least try to get in the mix. Because Ricky Starks has a lot of really good things. So right now, this feud, if done well, right, both guys could come out of it a little further ahead. And right now, so I actually like what they're doing with that. I actually think they're doing a good job with this. I like the job they're doing with Hook and taking their time. And now he's got this belt here. And now he can roll with it. Great. Sounds good. Tag team title mix is okay. I feel like at some point you're going to have to do FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory. You just got to do it because FTR is there and they're a great tag team. And at some point they're probably going to have to face each other. But that'll be a good match. The Lucha Bros are around. We could have them. That'd be a great match. I think that'd be a fun match. Like, I feel like we need to see a couple of tag team matches on Dynamite with the champions. We should be seeing a couple of those. So, like, the possibilities are there. So, like, let's do that. And I'd like to see, like I said last week, we got to get that committee to figure it out. Like, I want a little bit more maneuvering with the women's division and some storylines.
Yeah.
The title should be featured semi-regularly. I want to see that. And Thunder Rosa's title reign right now is still stuck in neutral. I think it's advanced not one iota. And I'm sure the match with Jamie Hayter was fine. I'm going to check it out just to see how the match went because I'm curious about how the match was structured. But yeah, her title reign's in neutral right now, man. It's like we just randomly pick a contender. It's like, okay, now you're a contender. Cool. Thunder Rosa wins. Cool. Now what?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't do anything. Nothing happens. So it's like, and I still feel like Thunder Rosa's losing momentum as a result of that because her character is still kind of the same. Like, really nothing has changed. So it's like, there's no development. There's no progression.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. I still like the jealousy angle. I'd like to see maybe that leading into the thing with Tony Storm and whatever. But you got to build it up if you're going to do that.
For sure.
So anyway.
You think AJF's coming back ever?
I think the likelihood is better than ever he'll end up at WWE. But the timeline is where Tony Khan technically holds the cards. If you're Tony Khan and you really don't think you can sign him, honestly, I'd let him rot on the shelf for another year. Because after that, Triple H will probably sign him. So, and again, I don't think MJF would be very good in WWE. I think he'd be super neutered down. But who knows? But at least put him on the shelf for a year and let some dust gather.
Well, that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Well, if you got nothing else for him to do,
But if you're gonna do that anyway, why let him come out and do his pipe bomb?
I think in Tony Khan, in my opinion, in Tony Khan's mind, I think he thought he could figure something out. I think it left it open ended. It was a situation where if that's his last time on TV, makes sense. If it leads then to an angle and you turn it into an angle, it's a good lead off point. It gave you the option to go either way. So it's like, yeah, because of what he did, he's not coming back ever. Gone. Or, here he is back after X amount of time and this is what's going on. So, it's one of those things like, I think Tony Khan's arrogance is going to get the better of him. Hopefully, this booking committee is a sign that somebody is talking some sense into him a little bit. Maybe? I don't even know. So I'm just checking here. Oh, it looks like Jamie Hayter suffered a broken nose during a match with Thunder Rosa. Damn her sandbagging! Damn her!
Oh boy.
Ridiculous. That's it. Now I got to go check out this match and see what the hell did you do, Thunder Rosa? What are you doing? Terrible. Injuring people, Dave. Injuring people. Ridiculous.
Exactly.
Unacceptable, Dave. Unacceptable. Anyway, we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I can't even say cautiously optimistic. Right now, I'm kind of... remember my other prediction? I said professional wrestling just got worse.
Mm-hmm.
From what I said tonight, I covered WWE and AEW. It's not getting better. Sign as many people as you like. It's not going to fix the problem.
Yeah.
That's not the solution. That can be a step in, if you have a plan. It can be a step in a solution. It's not the solution. Oh, by the way, one more I'll throw out of it. Where's Ruby Soho?
She came in running.
Yeah, I understand. Hmm. She could be doing something. She could be wrestling a match against somebody.
Yeah, I know.
You could, like, in theory, you could have a wrestler.
But I mean, that's the AEW thing with Tony Khan, right? Is sign somebody, give them a push for a month maybe, and then move on to the next toy you find.
Yep. Well, here's the thing: WWE is now going to get a taste of that too, because they got a bunch of new toys now. Triple H has re-added about. Now they had them before, so they just brought them back, but they're new now. Dakota Kai barely had a run on the main roster, so now anything she does on the main roster is a new toy.
Yep.
And by the way, in NXT, Mandy Rose thinks she's good to come back to the main roster. And if she does come back, that roster is bloated. They really don't have plans for most of them anyway right now. So, like, Mandy Rose is literally NXT champion. This is probably the most promotion she's ever gotten. But it's like, okay, so you put her back on the main roster, what's she going to do? Is she coming with Toxic Attraction? You bringing 3 more women up to that roster? You don't really have a tag team championship, really. You have 2 championships. And then what?
Yeah.
And one more thing I'll leave you on. Battle of the Belts. You know what belt wasn't on there?
What belt wasn't?
Yeah, well, there are a lot of belts that weren't, but one belt that's new that wasn't on there.
The All Atlantic Championship?
Where are you, Pac? I think I'm in Mexico. Or is that London? Or is that Uzbekistan? Ship him off somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another belt. Hey, he's a champion. He's got a belt. I can't tell you we're going to watch it, but he's got a belt.
Yeah. I still think, like, and we've talked before, like, the best stuff AEW puts out is the best stuff that there is.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than just putting on a good match.
Yeah. The problem that they've had right now is that their ceiling is high. Their ceiling is very high. But the floor remains very low. The length between the ceiling and the floor is still a very large gap. When it just doesn't work, it just doesn't work. And they commit to it. And some of it is like, maybe we should have tried this once before we went live. And that's my thought with some of the promos and some of the segments where I'm sitting there like, this is like high school drama class. We could have could we have like tried this a couple of times? Could we have rehearsed this maybe once or twice? Just to maybe make some adjustments, make some tweaks before we went on national television and put this as our product?
Yeah.
Maybe? Anyway, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being unduly negative. I'm a jaded old wrestling fan. Everything sucks, Dave. It's all trash. Everything's garbage. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. We good?
We're good.
All right, I'm going to go get something to eat. This is episode 137 of the Necessary Nonsense Podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. If you watch the YouTube version, you can see the slow decline in my energy level as I slowly think about a meal that I would rather be eating right now. Next week, we'll come back. We'll see what this week has in store for us. I look forward to not watching WWE, but looking at the results and seeing how many times more Bianca Belair can stave off 3 women that are champions formally, because reasons. And then Becky Lynch has a separated show, so she won't be around for a while. So I'm sure Bianca Belair will find somebody else to help her. And in the meantime, if any of you need it, you can continue your dominatrix fantasies about Rhea Ripley while she continues to not actually try to compete for a title. But maybe she'll beat up Dominic Mysterio a couple more times, because apparently he's into that kind of thing. Apparently some of you are into that kind of thing. No judgment, but I'm just saying. No judgment. I've seen the social media posts. Y'all got some questions to answer. Anyway, leave it at that. That's it for me this time around. For myself and David, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Unnecessary Nonsense Podcast.